you already know this joint is going to be good when they got Capcom behind the boards. I don't know what it was about Disney Capcom games back in the day, but whenever Capcom was given a Disney IP to adapt into a video game, they always locked in for it. This is Aladdin for the Super Nintendo. It's not a very long game, so we're going to play the whole thing in one sitting. Let's do it. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, Wyatt, why aren't you playing the Sega Genesis version? And I like the Genesis version quite a bit. And in terms of the audio-visual component, the Sega Genesis version beats the Super Nintendo version. But people sleep on Super Nintendo Aladdin. This game has like a really nice flow and rhythm to it. You got this parachute mechanic, which is a lot of fun. I don't know, I feel like people solely like the Genesis version more because Aladdin has a sword in it. But like, Aladdin doesn't even really use a sword in the movie. He uses a sword for like 2 minutes against Jafar at the very end of the movie. But I feel like him running around and doing parkour and stuff is more befitting of the character. But I really like this game's level design and how it controls. And it was directed by Shinji Mikami, who would go on to do the Resident Evil games. Missed the red gem. I don't remember what the red gems do. I think they give you like a hidden ending or something. Another thing that I like about this game is Abu. He's running around behind you, platforming. I don't know, kind of reminds me of Jak and Daxter in a weird sort of way. You got like your little buddy running around. This was back in the day when licensed games weren't always shovelware. You know, there were plenty of shovelware licensed games too, like basically anything that LJN published back in the day. But Disney and Capcom were like bread and butter. It seems like every Disney Capcom game that they made was just golden. And it bears repeating that Sega Genesis Aladdin is a great game. Both of these games are great, but I've always preferred the Super Nintendo version. You're gonna hear the words flow and rhythm a lot in this Let's Play, but that's the best way that I can describe the controls and the level design and the physics of this game. It's just got flow to it. One thing that bothers me about this game is there's this horizontal black bar at the top of the screen, some overscan type thing. I don't know, that could be emulator chicanery. Look at that. Look at those flips. Look at him flipping around. I don't know. It makes way more sense for Aladdin to be running and jumping and bopping enemies on the head than for him to be wielding a scimitar. Although I do gotta say, scimitars are pretty damn cool. There's a red gem, like around here somewhere, that I always miss. It's not this one, but there's another zip line section coming up here. This one right here. Look at this. It's a red gem. How do you even get that? I mean, you got the parachute, but I don't know how you're supposed to go and get that. I've never 100%ed this game, and like I said a moment ago, this is not gonna be a 100% playthrough. We're just gonna try to beat the game. I would say overall this game's pretty laid back. It's not too ball busting, unlike the Genesis version. But there's one level in particular that it's pretty infamous, and if y'all have played this game before, you probably know which level I'm referring to. But we're gonna one take Jake this, no save states, no rewinding or anything like that. And of course, y'all already know I got the CRT shader for that extra nostalgia. I would use the scanline filter as well, but the scanlines don't scale in OBS and they look weird, so we're just going with like the bilinear filtering and the artifacting. That composite cable good. So this is the first boss fight. This guy ain't shit. Just bop him on the head a couple of times. We got Abu cheering us on up there. Look at him with the 1-2. I love this game. This game's great. I played a lot of it when I was getting into emulation on ZSNES back in the day. I actually didn't own this on Super Nintendo. I did have a Super Nintendo. My sister's hand-me-down SNES, but I didn't have this game. What's good, Jasmine? What's good, girl? We got Genie, Abu, Aladdin, and the Sultan. Remember that password. Remember that, y'all. Aladdin, my boy. What's going on with your face? This is the Cave of Wonders, and this song reminds me of, like, Dragon Quest. I get a heavy Koichi Sugiyama vibe from this joint right here. It also kind of reminds me of the Great Cave Offensive from Kirby Superstar. I think it's just the instrumentation. But this part right here with the horns is That's so Dragon Quest. Let me know down in the comments below if y'all want to see me play any other Disney Capcom games. I've been doing a lot of Let's Plays recently. Normally I just stream, but recently I've had like anxiety over streaming, which sounds stupid, I know. But the cool thing about doing a Let's Play is I can just do it locally, and I can just, you know, chill and edit out whatever the dead air. Because there's a lot of that. There's a lot of me just playing the game in total silence, which is no fun to watch. But when I'm doing a local recording, I can just edit it all out. Hold up, I want to get that up there. Wait a minute, hold up. Ah! I biffed it. It's probably a secret up there, but it's all good. Look at this. Oh, that is a Ghouls and Ghosts looking ass skeleton right there. I mean, this is Capcom, so it makes sense, but that skeleton is straight out of like Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Got the magic carpet, who was always my favorite character in Aladdin. He was very expressive, considering he's just a carpet. I don't know, that was like super impressive to me when I was a kid, how they made the carpet feel so alive. I mean, Homeboy does not have a face or anything. I don't know how they do that shit. Check this out, we're gonna get the red diamond. Boom. Oh my god, effortless. Yeah, this game thankfully is a lot more forgiving than the Genesis game, which is probably another reason why I like SNES Aladdin more than the Genesis game. There's the lamp. My boy. That's what we're looking for. Abu, no! What are you doing, Abu? No!
Infidels. I am the Shockmaster.
Jafar, Abu, Jasmine, Genie. Remember that. Remember that. We're gonna need that password, except we're gonna not need it. We're beating the whole game in one sitting. Loved Aladdin as a kid because it felt like the first Disney movie that was really geared for boys. Like, don't get it twisted. I like The Little Mermaid. I loved Beauty and the Beast. I was a pretty big Disney fan growing up. You know, me being a 9-year-old child, I didn't want to be like, oh yeah, I like The Little Mermaid. You would get clowned on for saying that. The thing is, though, now that I'm an adult, I can confide in you guys that The Little Mermaid is fire. Like, The Little Mermaid is a great movie. But when I was a kid, I couldn't say that shit. I think if you get the Scarab, it's like a bonus level or like a bonus minigame or something. It's been a minute since I've played this game, not gonna lie. The reason I'm doing a Let's Play of this today is I was literally looking through, first death of the game, first death of the run, and it won't be the last. I was looking through like what games to record to do a video on, and alphabetically Aladdin was the first game in my folder of ROMs. I mean, my totally real Super Nintendo library. Get the red gem, get it, oh, it's not worth it. I'm gonna bail. Now this level's kind of a difficulty spike, but the next one is the hardest level in the game. But thankfully, I have a strat for it. Check this out. That level was pretty tough. But check it, I got a strat for the next level. Let's play this bonus game first. I think it's just a roulette, yeah. You get extra lives, extra hearts, extra continues. You do have limited continues, and if you run out, you have to restart the whole entire game, but it's not that bad because 1, this game is short, and 2, they give you like 6 continues, I'm pretty sure. So you got plenty of chances. And thankfully, this game isn't Super Bowl busting either. You know, there's a couple difficulty spikes. We're about to see one, but got 2 additional lives. I'm gonna need them for this next level. Check it. It's the flying carpet escape from the Cave of Wonders part. And what I'm doing here is called pause buffering. And basically, you just pause the game so that way I have time to react to what's ahead of me. To this day, I've never been able to beat Castlevania 1 without pause buffering against Dracula at the very end of the game, because he can like teleport, right? And he teleports so damn fast, especially if you're playing on an emulator and you don't have any time to react. But pause buffering is a legit strat in a lot of older video games. I could maybe beat this without pause buffering, this level right here, but yeah, it's way tougher. It is way tougher without it. I recommend I recommend the pause buffer strat. It's a little cheesy. You know, it's kind of cheap, but sometimes you gotta play dirty with old 8-bit, 16-bit video games. And now we got my favorite level, the genie levels. Got this crazy ass arrangement of Never Had a Friend Like Me. Super colorful level. Like, this is something straight out of Rayman 1. I get a heavy Rayman vibe from this level in particular. These Disney Capcom games on Super Nintendo had some amazing sprite work. The Genesis version looks better. That's one of the things that I'll give the Genesis version. It looks better and it sounds better. But don't sleep on Super Nintendo Aladdin. I think the Super Nintendo Disney Capcom games look great. Like Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse, Goof Troop, obviously this game. I mean, look at this level design. Is this not some Rayman ass level design? Apparently Rayman Legends is getting a remake. I think they announced that recently during the Sony State of Play, which is pretty exciting. I'm not the biggest Rayman fan, but Rayman 2 and Rayman Origins and Legends are a lot of fun. I'm one of those weirdos. I like Rayman 2 more than Rayman 3. I think Rayman 2 is a contender for one of the best 3D platformers. I like Rayman 1, but that game is deceptively difficult. It looks like a baby video game for toddlers, but Rayman 1 is challenging. That game is twisted. And when I say Rayman looks like something for toddlers, I'm not dissing the sprites. It's got beautiful sprite work, great art direction, but it does look like some fairy tale shit, right? But then you play Rayman 1 and you quickly realize that game does not play around. It really doesn't. Honestly, this whole entire game could have been the genie themed levels, and I would be fine with that, because these are so creative and wacky. Yeah, if y'all want to see me play Genesis Aladdin, just let me know in the comments. We'll get it cracking. I've never beaten Sega Genesis Aladdin though, because it's way too freaking hard. But I'd be willing to give it another stab if y'all want to see that. Oh wow, 6 hearts? I didn't even know you could get that many in this game. Okay. You know what? The background kind of reminds me of Tetris Attack, aka Panel de Pon. It has that sort of pastel, colorful vibe. Probably my favorite puzzle game. Up there with Dr. Mario and Honey Pop, actually, believe it or not. No! Oh, that's the second death, I think. And I think we lose our parachute. Nope. Huh. I could have sworn that if you died, you lose the parachute. But maybe I'm thinking of the GBA version, which I actually did have as a kid. I didn't have the Super Nintendo version. I had this on GBA, but I mostly associate this game with emulation. When I got into emulation back in the day because I wanted to play Earthbound, but I didn't have the coin to drop for a copy of Earthbound. Do you think retro games are expensive today? I mean, they are, but even back then, Earthbound was freaking expensive. There's this movie called The Thief and the Cobbler, which a lot of people peg for an Aladdin ripoff, which is unfortunate because it was in development for a long ass time, like 30-something years. Richard Williams, the director of it, was kind of a perfectionist, and The Thief and the Cobbler was like his child, his baby, right? And it didn't end up coming out until after Aladdin, even though it started development in like the late 1960s. But the animation in that movie is incredible. If you're unfamiliar with it, definitely give it a watch. It's a good movie. I don't understand why it got bad reviews back then and why it still, like, people still don't like it, but Richard Williams was a freaking genius. He also directed that one Raggedy Ann and Andy movie that everybody loves, which is also recommended viewing. Great film with some great animation. This game ranks pretty high on my, like, Disney video game list, but nothing beats Quackshot for the Sega Genesis. If y'all have never played Donald Duck Quackshot, it's so good. It kind of reminds me of Wario Land 4 a little bit. Not in terms of the game feel or anything, but it just has a little bit of a Wario Land treasure hunting vibe to it. Boo, what are you doing? But yeah, I recommend Donald Duck Quackshot so much. That game is a lot of fun. It's almost a little Metroidvania-ish. There's a decent bit of backtracking in that game, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll let's play that someday. I would say Quackshot, Castle of Illusion, and DuckTales on NES are my top 3 Disney video games, and then Aladdin and Goof Troop are in the top 5 for sure. It feels weird to sing the praises of a Disney video game for having pretty animation and art direction, but just look at the sprite work. It's so bubbly and soft. You got this amazing parallax effect. Look at the city of Agrabah in the background. It's so good. I feel like licensed video games don't really exist anymore. At least I certainly don't see them as often as I did when I was growing up. If I were to hazard a guess, maybe licensed video games are like mostly mobile games now? I don't know. But you're definitely not getting anything as good as Aladdin on Genesis or Super Nintendo. Definitely not. Not nowadays, no. What's good, Jafar? I'm gonna mess you up, bro. I think you just jump on his head. Okay, he does that. I gotta jump on the scepter. And then, okay, I got it. Easy peasy. This is some Donkey Kong Country K. Rool type shit. Is that it? No, that can't be it. That's gotta be like a fake out ending, right? Oh shit! Mode 7. Sprite scaling and rotation. Now earlier I said the cave music sounded like Dragon Quest, but this is some Dragon Quest boss battle music. Classic Super Nintendo slowdown. That was another thing the Genesis had. Blast processing. No blast processing here. That's it? The normal Jafar battle was harder than the Snake Genie form. Are you kidding me? I did this in one try. The previous fight took me like 7. We don't even get the decency to fight him. It kind of ends abruptly, but I'm not complaining. And that was Aladdin for the Super Nintendo. I do think there's a secret hidden ending if you get all the red gems, but I'm good on that. Thanks for watching this video. Let me know if you want to see more in the comments down below. I appreciate you. And yeah, have a great rest of your day.